Linda Barcz from the Barcz Company is here taking your plant and garden questions at 270-9933. Hello, Linda. How are you?
Hi, Mark. I'm good.
This bitterly cold temperatures, is there anything, is it harming our plants at all outside?
Well, the good thing that when it is this cold, the snow cover is the best insulation that we could possibly have. It's really wonderful that there isn't an ice layer down at the bottom of this, but that snow is the best insulation. Of course, the plant parts that are above ground, they're accustomed to these cold temperatures. We haven't been this cold in quite a few years, but we'll get through.
How about like the evergreens, arborvitae, things like that?
Well, I think that I would caution people about arborvitae. If some of them have started to separate because there was earlier snow load, be careful how you knock that off. If you can do it gently, because you don't want to actually be hitting on the vegetation, you would want to take a broom and try to brush it off. And if there's ice, just let it be. Wait till that ice melts. You may want to tie some of those branches that are leaning and using something that is stretchy, or just making sure that you do a loop. Don't actually tie around the stem itself, because otherwise you're going to have to remove that in spring because it could girdle a stem.
All right. Let's look ahead to spring. Can you start seeds yet, or is it too early?
Well, February, I guess you could be. I know that people get anxious. Don't start things like tomatoes that are going to get real leggy. But let's see, what kinds of things could you actually? Probably your cold crops. We're getting to the end of February. Yeah, things like Brussels sprouts and cabbage and things like that. Those are going to be some of the first things that you're going to be able to start inside. And if you have grow lights, that makes a big difference. Make sure that you have them close enough to the plant, and it's best to be able to adjust that grow light so that as they get taller, you can move it up, because it should be quite close, within 3-4 inches of the actual seedlings. And make sure that you watch out for damping off. You need to keep a seed bed moist, but not so wet that you're going to have organisms that are going to cause a problem. Milled sphagnum on the top of a seed bed is a very good way to prevent that fungus from developing, because that sphagnum moss will not allow that to germinate and grow.
All right, let's go to the phones. We'll go to Nancy. Hi, Nancy. What's your question?
I have a question about a peace lily plant my sister-in-law has in Florida. Half of the blossoms are white and half are green.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
well,
she was wondering. I said, I'll call Linda.
Well, sometimes peace lilies are planted with several of them put together. So I wonder if there's just two different cultivars that were combined in the same one. That's sort of nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
That's a possibility, I suppose.
All right, thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Let's go to Sandy now in Madison. Hi, Sandy. What's your question?
Yes, I have a number of orchids, and they're blooming now, and I've got some little food sticks to put in, and I'm wondering what's the best time to do that, and can you give me a quick overview on orchids and their care?
Well, are you talking about, see, there's different kinds of orchids. The one that people are commonly buying at garden centers and grocery stores are Phalaenopsis. Does it have sort of a round, now you can't really call it heart-shaped, but it's a round, flat flower?
Yes, more or less. These were purchased at grocery stores.
Okay. Yeah, Phalaenopsis is one that is fairly easy to get to rebloom. And as far as, you don't have to fertilize it now that you actually they're sending up flower stalks. But the important thing to remember is turn that plant so that flower stalk develops nice and straight. A lot of times, if you've retained that stake from when you first purchased it, they'll have a way for you to have little clips so that you can keep that nice and straight, so that the flower stalk grows up, and then the flowers will display much more nicely that way. And
they last a long time.
Yes, they do flower for a long. That's their best. In my opinion, they're better than cut roses because it flowers for such a long time. But of course, Valentine's Day, everybody has to have their roses, so we went through that. As far as the care, make sure that you don't overwater them. That's probably the most critical thing. That's why they recommend that ice cube idea. The roots of orchids don't really like icy water. It's just meant to impress upon people that you don't put that much water on it at a given time, or if you do wait a long time and soak it, then make sure that it has good aeration.
Okay,
that's in chunk bark.
All right, we're out of time. Thanks for calling in, everybody. Linda, thanks to you.
Thanks, Mark.
See you next time.